What's going on, everybody? It's 8:30, and that means it's time for Cocktails in the War Room. I'm Mistress Carrie, and every night at 8:30, I'm here in my war room, social distancing, and, well, having a cocktail and trying to unwind after another crazy day. So, cheers to you. There's a lot to talk about today. And let me tell you what, I've had a day from hell. So I have earned my cocktail in this said war room today because I'm just trying. I don't have a Zen happy place, but if I have one, I am in search of it today, which is why I wore a tie-dyed shirt today. So my old school retro concert shirt is my tie-dyed Black Crowes High as the Moon tour shirt that I dug out of my closet today. So, hello, Jen. So I'm trying to find my inner hippie happy place because it's been a day. So once again, last night had a really hard time sleeping. This has been, I think, 3 nights in a row now that I have just not been able to get a good night's sleep, and there's really not any kind of explanation for it. So I don't know if you guys are having some kind of screwed up sleep patterns or whatever, but I have not been sleeping well the last few days. So it's just very strange. And then today, I kind of got into it with an older family member who had to be bailed out of a little bit of a jam. So I had to leave the house for a few minutes today. And someone was having a little bit of car trouble. So I got the call to kind of go and be a helper. And am I the only one that is having disagreements with older relatives, not elderly relatives, not relatives that are, say, over 70 or 75, but late 50s, 60s relatives that maybe aren't taking this thing as seriously as maybe they should? Have you had heated conversations with older family members about not going out of the house as much, or trying to maybe get them to understand that because they feel okay doesn't mean that they couldn't have the coronavirus, or that they couldn't be spreading it to other people? I had a very heated conversation with this family member who I love, just about trying to get them to understand that maybe the old way of thinking that, oh, you feel fine and you don't have a fever, and so, everything's okay. Because it's incredibly difficult to have someone that you love just look at you and have everything that come out of their mouth be wrong. There's no other freaking way to say it. I'm sorry. But and I'm sitting there, and anybody that knows me well knows that my fuse is long, but when it's gone, there's no coming back from that. It's like I'm a tea kettle, and I boil a little bit and boil a little bit. And when I whistle, take me off the burner or deal with the consequences kind of thing. And this hard conversation about, you really don't need to be going out as much, and you need to be more careful. And just because you feel fine doesn't mean you are fine, or doesn't mean that you could just be a carrier and never get anything but make other people sick. And so that conversation got pretty heated today for a little while, and that really bummed me out. And then I came back home, and then the UPS guy pulled in the driveway with a package, which, has been happening from time to time. And I have been singing the praises of all of the delivery people every night for a reason, because, we still need to order things. And especially now, because we're not able to kind of be self-sufficient and go out and get some of the things we need, to have people bring them to our house is incredibly convenient, and also kind of keeps us at home, which was all great. UPS guy was awesome. He was actually a huge sweetheart. left the package, and the package is something that it was electronics that I didn't want to leave outside for very long. And when I opened the door to get this kind of sizable package Wednesday, my pug ran out the door. She has had a fascination with chasing vehicles since she was an itty bitty little runt of the litter pug. And I know you saw her the other night when she was bouncing around the couch for 10 minutes, but let me tell you, I have had pugs as pets for 23 years. I have never in my life seen a pug move this friggin' fast. This dog is like lightning in a bottle when she wants to be, and then she needs to nap immediately thereafter. But she went chasing after the UPS guy, caught him before he got out of the driveway, was running around his truck so he couldn't leave. And he was, like I said, the sweetest guy, was trying to bribe her with like a begging strip or something, because I know all of you delivery guys, it's not your only encounter. Isn't there an Instagram or a Facebook page that's just dedicated to the dog interactions that the UPS guys have on normal kind of delivery routes? And he was trying to bribe her with treats, and she just thought at this point she was playing a game. And I thought that I had kind of gotten her attention, and he started to pull away, and then she went booking after this truck. He could not accelerate the truck fast enough. Anyway, she chased him down the street, and now I'm running without even realizing I don't have shoes on, running down the street to catch her. Now, I ran the marathon last year and saw people running the marathon barefoot. First of all, running the marathon is incredibly hard. Second of all, I don't know how the hell you do it without shoes on, because my feet have all these cuts on them now from chasing after my stupid friggin' dog down the street because she thought she was going to pick a fight with the UPS truck, not the guy, the truck, and that she was going to win. Obviously, she did not get into the fight with the UPS truck, and we were able to kind of throw a stick and get her to stop, chasing the truck so that he could pull away. But this wine right here, I earned it. I'm drinking all of it. Might finish the bottle. You're not allowed to judge me tonight, because today's been a friggin' day. There's a lot going on in the news, and it's been a crazy day of both, really amazing stories and then also some harsh realities that came in the news. This I thought was really cool. Gibson is giving away 3 months of free guitar lessons online. So if you have ever wanted to learn how to play the guitar, if you have one in the house, I know that there are guitar tuning apps that you can download on your smartphone. If you can figure out how to tune your guitar, if you don't know how to play it. But I thought it was really cool that Gibson wants to give away some guitar lessons. And I know there are a lot of fantastic guitar players that are also doing tutorials on YouTube. So now is the time. If you are not working outside of the house and you've got a little bit more downtime than you usually have, now might be a really good time to take that guitar that you've had in the closet that you've sworn you were going to play and learn how to play it. And the guys from Gibson are giving out free guitar lessons. Dolly Parton, who is an unbelievable philanthropist and has made it her life's mission to tackle children's literacy, and she has given away millions of children's books. And that's one of the things that Dollywood, her amusement park and whole facility kind of funds, is tackling children's literacy. And Dolly Parton is now reading children's books at night online, and she calls it Good Night with Dolly. And I thought that was really cool, is that, you're spending a lot more quality time with your family and your kids, and now you can kind of log on and have Dolly Parton read your kids stories at night, which is really cool. Also, speaking of what you can watch online, we've been talking a lot about the virtual tours at a lot of the different museums, the USS Constitution giving out virtual tours during the day, and also the San Diego Zoo has live animal cams that are kind of hidden. So if you're going to watch animals on television rather than watching the friggin' tiger show, which I've still only seen the first episode of, you can actually watch animals kind of interacting amongst themselves on the San Diego Zoo's live animal cam. So you can do that too. And I was watching elephants earlier today, just trying to find my happy place while I was soaking my feet and dressing the little cuts that I have on the bottom of my feet, which I will not show you because the other night when I showed you my 2 different size feet and my Kermit socks, a bunch of people were like, oh, thank God you didn't show your actual feet. I hate feet. And then we got a bunch of people that were commenting about how their wives have webbed toes, and it got into this whole other conversation. So I'm not going to show you my feet, but I'm just saying. Today, if today is your birthday, we like to toast everybody on their birthday. You share your birthday with the great Angus Young. So happy birthday if today's your birthday. No, I'm not going to sing to you. So happy birthday to you and Angus if today is your birthday. This I thought was incredibly interesting, and I don't know what it says about women. Wireless bra sales are up 40% since women started working from home. So guys, if for some reason you don't understand why there are wires in bras, they're called underwires. I'm not going to model them for you, but they go underneath your boob and they can be uncomfortable. And if you're not careful, the wire can stab you and it sucks. So I found it very interesting that women, are still choosing to wear bras if they're working from home. Ladies, why bother? Just let your freak flag fly. What's the point? But that you're wearing bras with no underwires, as if they're more comfortable for you or whatever. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny. In sad news, when it comes to music, we were so excited when the lineup got announced, and it was confirmed today that Boston Calling Memorial Day weekend has been canceled. Not rescheduled, canceled. So it was supposed to be the 3-night festival at the Harvard Athletic Complex with the Foo Fighters, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Rage Against the Machine, and it has been canceled. And that just sucks. So if you got tickets for it, you can get your refunds. You just have to go online to the Boston Calling website and get all of the details. Sony has also delayed all of the big summer blockbusters until 2021, and that includes the new Ghostbusters, which was going to have Bill Murray and was going to have the rest of the original cast, minus Harold Ramis, of course. But I believe his son was going to be part of it, so I'm a little bit bummed out about that because William says, I don't even have pants on right now. Why are women wearing bras? I don't know, but thank you for the visual, William. I appreciate it. So the big summer blockbuster movies are all getting delayed because of what's going on as well. So today the governor made a lot of announcements. The stay-at-home order is in effect until May 4th now, in case you missed that. They have also added optometrists, pest control, and chiropractors to the list of essential employers and businesses that can be open now during the stay-at-home order. So if you've been trying to go to the eye doctor or maybe get an updated prescription for your contacts or need to go to the chiropractor, especially to all of those people that are out delivering all of the packages and getting chased after by crazy pugs, and then if you're having some kind of spring pest control issue, you can call those guys and get them to come over. I've been getting these weird moths that have been coming in with my firewood, and it's very strange. I don't know what the hell they are, but they're driving me crazy. Yeah, someone else asked, Emily says, we're supposed to be wearing pants. No, Emily, we're not. If you don't want to wear pants, don't even put them on. I mean, if you're not going to wear anything, I would suggest putting a towel down on the couch because that's just polite. But if you're home alone, I mean, who's going to know? You're amongst friends here. You can do whatever you want. No judgment. Hi, Pete. So speaking of the governor also was visibly shaken at the announcement that 13 veterans died at the Soldiers' Home in Holyoke from COVID-19. And it is just heartbreaking. Between the veterans' homes and the hospitals and the nursing homes, especially with immunocompromised patients, and of course the elderly. These are the people that we're supposed to be staying home to protect. And for veterans living in the soldiers' home, they've seen way worse in their lives. And it's heartbreaking. I saw the news originally last night. It said 11, but Mayor Marty Walsh sent a condolence tweet out earlier confirming that it was in fact 13. I believe the director has been relieved of his duties, and several staff members have also tested positive. So it's heartbreaking. There really just isn't any other way to describe it. And then later on this afternoon at the government, the federal government briefing, there seems to be a general consensus from politicians and scientists that if we get out of this thing lucky, meaning that we all obey the stay-at-home orders and do the social distancing, they are expecting the next 2 to 3 weeks to be the worst of this, which is why they've given all of the orders through the month of April and into early May. And they are saying the numbers they've agreed upon are between 100,000 and 240,000 deaths in the United States. And those numbers hit me like a bullet. I mean, I started thinking about it, and I looked it up because I wanted to be factually accurate. We lost 2,216 Americans in Afghanistan. We lost 4,576 in Iraq. We lost 54,246 in the Korean War, and we lost 58,209 in Vietnam. And I bring it up because just a couple days ago, we were talking about how it was National Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day. But if you've ever gone to DC and seen the wall, or if you've seen one of the smaller versions of the traveling wall, you know what I'm talking about. And if you have not made a trip to the nation's capital to see not only the Vietnam War Memorial, but all of the war memorials, which it's absolutely amazing to go and see them. I remember the first time that I saw the Vietnam Wall, and I remember not being able to believe how many names were on it. And as I walked, I've talked about my Uncle Froggy, who is a Purple Heart recipient from Vietnam. And when I went there, he was the person that I was thinking about the most. And I just remember standing there in tears with no air in my lungs at how big and immense and how small the names were to fit them all on this giant black wall. And when they were talking about these numbers today, that's the image that went into my head. Because when you see the Vietnam War Memorial, that's 58,209 names on a wall. And now they're telling the United States to brace ourselves that over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to lose twice as many people, if not more. And I didn't know what to do with what I was feeling this afternoon. And this was only a couple of hours ago. And so I just kind of sat there in the quiet. And then I was like, you know what? I went and took a really long hot shower. And again, just like tried to just sit in the quiet, knowing I was going to talk to you guys tonight. And am I the only person that feels like I woke up in a twilight zone? I know that, part of the reason you guys watch these videos every day is because you're looking for an escape and you're looking for all of us to kind of get together and talk about the day. And I apologize if I'm being super bummed out today, but those numbers really kind of set me back because that was the good news, they said. If we did nothing, it was over 2 million. And the 100 to 240,000 is if everyone does their part and stays home and does the social distancing and washes their hands and is super careful. And there are places in the United States that still aren't even being all that careful. I mean, there's still counties in Florida with beaches open. So, I mean, how many people are we supposed to be prepared for? Because then what really started me thinking is our first responders already on a day-to-day basis deal with things that the rest of us are just not prepared to deal with. That's why they do what they do. They're the ones that are there when there are horrific car accidents, and I mean, they're there for us on our worst day. You know, that's their job. And we're all luckier than we even realize for them to be there to do that. But I'm wondering, what kind of a toll is this going to take on our healthcare workers? The emotional toll, the mental toll, and what it's going to take to help them in the long run. I mean, so many of our first responders, our military, they've already got a huge, I mean, their divorce rate is higher than anyone else's, the alcoholism rates, the suicide epidemic. How are we going to be able to comfort the people that are giving us comfort? How are we going to make this okay when it's over for the people that are having to see it on the front lines of it, meaning our healthcare workers, the people that are dealing with it every day and that we're not even seeing because of HIPAA regulations, and that the cameras aren't even going into these hospitals, so we can only hear the descriptions of it from the healthcare workers. And I don't even, all I can say is that if you're working in healthcare, whatever you need from us, just tell us and you can have it whenever you need it, because this is going to be really hard for you and harder on you and the families that aren't going to be able to be with their loved ones over the next few weeks when they're being lost. I mean, I don't even know how this is supposed to, how we're supposed to just deal with this. It's overwhelming to me today. I don't know why today of all days, but it, that press conference this afternoon and the grim reality of it, growing up the daughter of a nurse and a firefighter and EMT, I knew what it was like when my parents would come home when I was a kid, when they had a bad day. And the families of the healthcare workers that are at home seeing their loved ones come home through the door, just not the same. I don't know, today just got me today. I don't know if it's because I'm not sleeping or, you know, the family drama earlier or chasing Wednesday down the street after the UPS truck, but it's just now more than ever, we just need to really be there for each other, because it's the only way that we're going to get through this. And I know, if I know one thing, it's that when Americans have seen hard times, we're really good with our back against the wall at joining together and surging forward together. And that's what we need to do right now, because the next few weeks are going to be really hard. And the people that are working and dealing with it on the front lines of it are going to need all the support in the world. The people who are losing family members to this illness are going to need our support. And it's going to feel even more difficult to be the healthy person staying home, because I know that we've talked about this in the past, that we all feel friggin' useless sitting around. Like I'm an able-bodied, healthy person. I want to be working or doing something or whatever. And when you put the TV on or you look on the internet and you see all of this bad stuff that's happening, all of us as the rock community, as the AAF community, we're really good at going, let's go, kick the door open, let's go, let's get to work, we got shit to do. And right now, we have to close the door and sit down and say, this is my job right now, is to stay out of the way and to keep everyone else from getting sick. And it's really friggin' hard when you know that there are people working double shifts and suffering and we can't do anything about it. And just please talk to your older family members. Tell them to stay the fuck home. You know, just do everything you can to be as helpful. I made a blood donation appointment, but it's not for another 2 weeks. And it was the soonest appointment that I could get. But I felt like, okay, I'm going to do that because it's important. But I'm sorry if you came looking for dick jokes today. I apologize. It's just been really hard today. I thought the underwire bra story would make me laugh a lot more than it did, but it didn't. So I'm going to have another sip of wine. And I'll just remind you guys that you're not alone with all of the feelings that you have, because obviously I'm having all the feelings today, so I'll have them for you. But however it is that you're dealing with this, whether you're getting angry or you're getting depressed or you're just getting super motivated around the house because you can't sit still, however it is that you're dealing with this is the right way to deal with it, because none of us have ever experienced anything like this before. And I don't know if there's any kind of instruction manual on how we're all supposed to deal with this. But, you know, I guess as long as you're not having too many cocktails in the war room, as long as it's not becoming a problem, as long as you're not relying on things to kind of escape, and just dealing with things in a healthy way, whether it be through meditation and yoga at home or FaceTiming your friends or making and sewing masks or, you know, watching the kids of someone that's working, or just whatever little things, if you have money that you can donate to an organization that is doing great work and helping. However you can find a little way to make a difference in a good way, that's what we have to focus on. However small and insignificant you feel like it is, you just have to go, okay, you know, that saying how to eat an elephant one bite at a time, like that's what we have to do right now, is just take these itty bitty little, you know, each grain of sand, and if we all put our sand together, we'll make a beach. And that's what we have to do right now. And, you know, this afternoon when I was sitting there just kind of in awe of what I was watching on television, I was like, God, I can't wait to talk to those guys tonight. And so thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for being here for me to talk to about this stuff, because, you know, I'm really having a hard time rationalizing the stuff in my head. It just doesn't make any sense. And so we just have to, you know, band together. I saw my beautiful friend Hillary, who's airborne, badass female veteran, was out delivering meals to veterans today for lunch. And, you know, it's just, you just have to take those, you know, those amazing little things, and we just need to do as many little amazing things as we can and squish them all together. I used to joke with Mike Shue that we were the Wonder Twins, you know, so we have to kind of Wonder Twin it up. So figure out how to be a Wonder Twin. And for anybody that doesn't know who the Wonder Twins are, go fuck yourself, because you're too young. I know it still weirds you out to see me swear, right? That's what everybody always says. Trust me, I'm Sicilian and Portuguese. I swear plenty. It was hard enough not to do it while I was on the air. I got a drink recipe for you. I thought a tequila recipe tonight might help you a little bit. I picked this one out for the name. This is called Anita's Attitude Adjuster. It is 3/4 of an ounce of light rum, 3/4 of an ounce of vodka, 3/4 of an ounce of gin, 3/4 of an ounce of tequila, 1/4 of an ounce of triple sec, juice of half a lime, sparkling white wine, and you squeeze the lime into a highball glass Add ice cubes and spirits, stir, and fill it up with the sparkling wine and serve. And that's called Anita's Attitude Adjuster. And if it's got white wine in it, that means you're probably going to get white girl wasted, because between white wine, gin, tequila, rum, and vodka, Anita's attitude has been successfully adjusted. When it comes to what I want to show you in the war room tonight, I brought these out because it's super old school. How many of you guys got one of these? You guys remember these? They were the decks of cards that had like all of the terrorist faces on them, so that the troops, while they were playing spades, could memorize the faces. So we got cases of these at the radio station, and we sent out care packages. Thanks to all of you guys that donated stuff when the war started. We sent over 2,000 care packages. And we put these cards in all of them, and I saved a deck that's still in the wrapper because Saddam Hussein, I don't know who he was, but Osama bin Laden, I know he was the ace of spades in here. And I remember the day that they got him, I hung that card up in the studio. And so I don't think that card is in the open deck anymore, but I kept an unopened deck. And still got mine, Brianna says. Sean says, I remember those. David says, I have those cards too. Yes, the ace of spades, says Buck. So a lot of people have those cards. And I thought it was a really smart way of actually getting service members to kind of memorize the faces of all of the guys that were on the most wanted lists. I will tell you kind of a funny story, speaking of spades. I learned how to play spades. There's actually video of it. I believe the video is up on this Facebook page if you go digging through all of my albums. But when I was in Afghanistan with the guys from the 182nd Infantry from the Mass Army National Guard, that's where I learned how to play spades. And Brown, Lawson, and Timmons, the three of us, and the three of them and me, sat down to play a game of spades. And Brown was my partner, and Lawson and Timmons were Marines that then, they're both snipers, and then they became members of the Army National Guard and were a dynamic team of spades players. And so I got a little froggy and had a little attitude, and so we challenged them. And when I say we, I mean me. Brown was just kind of along for the ride. And we bet them at like 3 o'clock in the morning. We hadn't slept in days. And it was $500 buy-in on one game of spades. And the losing team had to take the winning team out for dinner and drinks at the winning team's location when they all got home. And of course, my team lost because I'm a terrible spades player. And so when the guys came home, they were home about 3.5 weeks or so. And then they kind of reached out and they were like, okay, we're ready to go for our dinner. And, I told Brown, I was like, look, I dragged you onto my team and got all mouthy. And so I'm going to take the three of you guys out. And I called Chris Scott from the Capitol Grill in Boston and said, listen, these guys just came home from Afghanistan 3 weeks ago. I want to roll out the red carpet for them. And Chris rolled out the red carpet for them and got us the best booth in the restaurant and brought over all of the amazing appetizers and cocktails. And then one by one, the waiters started coming over with drinks for us because word had gotten out throughout the entire restaurant that the guys I was at the table with had just come home from Afghanistan. And next thing you know, people were sending over food and drinks and dessert. And so the moral of the story is I'm the one that got froggy about how good my spades playing was. I'm the one that challenged them to the game. I'm the one that lost. And for the most part, I got out of paying the bill because everybody in the restaurant wanted to buy everybody's stuff. I paid for as much of it as they would let me. So I got to say what's up to Chris Scott at the Capitol Grill and everybody that's over there, because I know that being locked up and, having all of us not be able to come out and get a Stoli Doli and some of that, the Kona encrusted filet at the Capitol Grill is, I dream about it. And that's what we all had that day. So anyway, that's what these cards reminds me of, is the $1,000 dinner that we had at the Capitol Grill, which my boys definitely deserved. So what can you do? The dinner was fantastic. We call it the coffee steaks. So we have all sworn that we would go back and have more coffee steaks. So that's my story about my artifact in the war room tonight. I gave you your cocktail. I even cried tonight, and I feel like an ass because I haven't cried really since the last day we were on the air in the studio. I've been really trying not to cry, but cool story, bro, says Kenny. Thanks, Kenny. But I don't know. I apologize. Thanks for letting me vent tonight, guys. Thanks for giving me a big virtual hug and kind of wrapping yourselves around me tonight, because I think I needed the little pick-me-up maybe more than you guys did. Joe says, you actually won that wager. Servicemen and women deserve our thanks for all they do. That is a fact, and it was a great dinner, and we had a really good time. If I believe it, if I remember it correctly, I think I got home after the sun got up that day, so it was a long, long, long night. Heidi says, I miss Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. Oh, seriously. Although on the app it says that you can get it delivered. So you may want to see if the Dunks by you delivers, because yes, I would love about 7 iced coffees right now. I feel bad for the guy at the Dunks that I used to stop at every day on my way to the studio, because he probably misses me a lot. Poor little guy. I haven't seen him in a while. Heidi says, I'm having withdrawals. I know. Me too. I'm substituting it with wine right now. John says we all need a good cry sometimes. Yeah, we actually do, and I can't hide it. It just kind of shows up, and it is what it is. So Terrence says, Carrie, I needed your video tonight. I miss my mom, and today is the 13th anniversary of her passing. He mentioned last night that, this is a tough time when you start going through really hard anniversaries of tough things, and you're doing it by yourself because you're social distancing in your home. It's really hard to, be so disconnected. But we're all here, and, we're here and willing to listen. And there are a lot of people that are out there that, that want to check in on you and, that want to make sure that you're okay. And I know I gave it out on Sunday, but I want to give out the information again, because I know that today and the next few weeks are going to be really difficult. If you really do need someone to talk to, a professional, somebody that understands what's going on and can help you, if you feel like you're in crisis or that somebody you love is in crisis, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline number is 800-273-8255. 800-273-8255. And you can also go online to suicidepreventionlifeline.org if you want to see the resources and just kind of, have an idea of where you could send somebody that you think might need the help. Things are going to be really hard the next few weeks. And, we gotta be there for each other. So reach out where you can. Be as supportive as you can, especially if you've got, first responders and medical personnel, in the family, or, that, that you can reach out to. There are going to be a lot of people that need hugs that you can't give them. So try to find another way. If you can make meals for people, if you can just be a supportive phone call, just a quick text. I know you're busy. I just want you to know that I love you, or that you're doing a great job and you're not alone. Just, just reach out to people even more now than you have been. Unfortunately, They're saying this is kind of becoming the new normal. Don't they say that it takes 45 days to create a new habit? We're going to get to the point where we've all kind of been inside for 45 days and we're going to get used to being isolated, and that's not good. So don't be isolated. Reach out, tell somebody you love them, be there for people that you care about, and tell them that you love them. Tell them that they're appreciated. I know I do it, that I joke around a lot, and I handle a lot of these things, gallows humor kind of things, and make jokes. And I love ya. But you got to make sure that people know you love them and that you're there for them. And it's important right now. Heather says FaceTime's a lifesaver. It absolutely is. I've used FaceTime. You know what? You want to scare the hell out of yourself? Go into your phone and look at your screen time for the last few weeks. It's insane how much time we're on our devices right now. I was horrified. Yesterday, I was on my device for over 8 hours. Just little bits here and there because I wasn't sleeping. So late at night, I'm scrolling through Twitter and our brains are going to melt. Seriously. People shouldn't be on their phones this much. Annette says the weather was not helping either the last couple of days. No, and it was so nice to get out in the sun today. And I did that today. I went outside and just stood in the sun. Then I had to chase Wednesday down the street after the UPS truck. But while I was just kind of standing in the sun, it felt so good to just absorb the sun. It just felt really, really good. So get out in the sun if you can too, because it definitely helps. All right, guys, I think I've dumped enough of my baggage and crap on you for the night. I hope you guys are doing well. We got to stay positive. We got to keep our eye on the prize. We got to be there for each other and just close ranks, call the people you love. Don't lick anything weird. Wash your damn hands. Tell the people you love that you love them, and do something nice for a total stranger if you can, because it'll help. If we all do it, it'll help. So I love you guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me in the War Room every night at 8:30. I will see you tomorrow. One more toast if it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Angus Young. All right. Good night from the War Room.